Are you feeling overwhelmed, anxious, burnt out? Are your doctors trying to prescribe medications that perhaps are supposed to help you with all those symptoms, but only make them worse? Well, guess what? Today in the classroom, we have mind body medicine and recall healing expert Michelle LaMasa-Dawson. Yay! I know everybody's going yay because she's here because we're going to be talking about different ways that you can de-stress. Because, I don't like to focus on the actual word that's causing the problem, the stress, but because everybody understands de-stressing, I want you to move away from stress and move towards peace, hope, love, and joy. And who better than Dr. Michelle to come into the classroom? So make sure you take your pencil and your pen or your paper and write lots of notes because we're going to learn and grow together.
And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
Hi, I'm Lillian McDermott, and I am a certified life coach, certified holistic cancer coach, and the host of the Lillian McDermott radio show Classroom. If this is your first time in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. We've got so much to go over today, different techniques that you can do for yourself that will help you remind you that we choose peace. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Dr. Michelle LaMasa-Dawson is here to do just that. I should also add my friend to that equation of body mind expert and a recall healing expert. And you basically anything that has to do with emotion, spirit, mind, and body, you're in. You're in.
Thank you, thank you. And I was actually thinking that. And my really good friend Lily, so I'm so happy to be with you again on this wonderful educational program. I love it. I love what you do, and I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, and I'm so glad that we've spent some time together as well, so we can really just enjoy this amount of time talking about different ways to de-stress. Now, share a little bit about what is the cause of stress. How does stress happen in our body, emotionally, and spiritually?
Um, Life.
Okay, nice having you on the program.
Oh, okay, see you later.
Okay.
But really, like we say in recall healing, it's really about the stress of the daily life and those day in day out, getting the kids to school, getting groceries, paying the bills, going to work, having interactions with all of our of the people at work and people that we don't get along so well with, or people that we have to get along with. I mean, it is all facets of life can cause stress. And it can be good stress or not so great stress, like planning a wedding. It's super stressful. It's so exciting, but that, my son is in the middle of planning a wedding. So that's, it's exciting, but it can be stressful. So there are, anything that puts us in that sympathetic overdrive where we can't eat, we can't sleep, we're ruminating about our problems, we have cold extremities, where sometimes we might have shortness of breath, our digestion shuts down. I was talking to a woman today who, she's been married for over 20 years and right, about 6, 7 years ago, her son was diagnosed with depression and then he started getting into trouble with kids and as in his teenage years and smoking pot and doing all of that. That's stress. And then it's like, how do you help? And then he doesn't have a lot of friends now, and he calls mom to help her, have her help, and she feels this powerlessness. So that's why I said life, because really, like, anything can be stressful. It's just how we perceive it.
Yes. Yes. Yes, how we perceive it. It's so important that we rewrite what we perceive sometimes because, there have been so many people. I remember, I have to tell you this. I don't think I've ever shared this with you. I was talking to someone that I know, and they were telling me a story about how they ended up coming to a particular place. And they were saying how they lost this property and then because they bid on it, they lost it, and then it came back. They had to move back to their old place. And they were telling me, it's like, if we didn't have bad luck, we'd have no bad luck at all. That was what they said to me. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. When they told me the story, I said, you've got to stop saying that. Oh my gosh, you were able to sell your home for $100,000 more because this deal broke through, and now you have this and this and that. And I'm like, please don't ever say that you had bad luck. But it was the perception of that individual that the house that they wanted, they backed out, and so they had to go back to their old place. But a year later, they got $100,000 more than they would have asked when they were going to walk away. Now, isn't that great luck?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely.
because they didn't get the house that they wanted, they considered that bad luck. But we'll see, because I believe that God works things out for the greater good. That means
Sure.
if something is happening right now in my life that I don't like, I need to sit back. I get to sit back and say, "Oh God, what else do you have for me? What else do you have planned for me? What is the abundance and joy that's going to come that you prepared for me that I had not even planning for?" So when you're talking about perception, that is huge.
That what you just said reminds me of a meme that I saw, that it says there's a picture, and one is this little teeny baby flower, and then there's this other one, this beautiful big flower, and it says, my plan, God's plan. It's beyond whatever we could possibly imagine.
Yes.
And what shows up is always better, especially when you let go and change the perspective, and see what is showing up.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So the reality is we could all become stressed, whether it's multiple deadlines, children, like you said, no greater stress than see your children stress. You want to fix their problems, but I also realize that everybody's on their own journey. And I've had moments where I wasn't helped, that I got through there because God walked me through it. I was able to learn and grow from it. And so it's like the rewriting, like, just recently I spoke with, yesterday's class, we were talking with Andrea Beeman, and we were talking about that exactly, that, we got to rewrite even the things that we think are bad for us. We can rewrite it so that we find the blessing in it. And so this seems to be a theme this week for me.
Wonder
Hmm.
why.
Well, okay. So with that in mind, stress does happen. Sometimes we're caught off guard and we might ruminate a little bit more than we need to. So let's talk about some of these techniques, because I know that you have a lot of techniques for us. And also one we're going to leave towards the end. So I want everybody to tune in till the end, because Dr. Michelle has become certified in this technique. So I want her to share a little bit about that. So save enough time, okay, Dr. Michelle?
Absolutely. So,
Okay. So what are some of the things that we can do ourselves to kind of calm us to that parasympathetic as opposed to being in that sympathetic mode?
well, I'm literally breathing.
Oh, yes.
Literally just sitting and doing diaphragmatic breathing, where you sit with, just like you can be at a stoplight,
Yeah.
and you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You let your tummy muscles be soft, and you just breathe. That's it. So breath is life, but also in what I'm this new certification, some of the things that I've learned are just really super powerful. And so breath is a tool. And I love that because it's not just for survival, it's a tool that we have power to transform literally and symbolically all the aspects of our life through breath. So, and the other thing, like before we move too far away from that, children,
I don't. I got some follow-up stuff for you. Okay.
yeah. So children's stress is so big, especially for mamas. I mean, dads too, for sure. But mamas, that 9 months carrying our babies, it's, it's a deal. Like you don't want to see that. So I learned something that was so beautiful that I'll share it with the classroom
Okay.
that and I used it with one of my sons recently, not too far long ago, and it was just so powerful. And it's like when you're in these conversations with your kids, it's sometimes really hard to come up with what they need to hear. And you'll hear them, yeah, but yeah, this, and there's all these excuses of why they're either unhappy or this is happening or that's happening. And so, as a mom, we can mirror, empathize, and validate, just honoring them where they're at. But the bigger thing that we can say is, oh, honey, I have 100% confidence that you have everything that you need to resolve your problem, and you're on your path to doing that. And I trust that it's going to be great. It might be challenging, and I'm here for you. And you got this. For all of us want to hear that kind of confidence from our mom, from our
Yeah.
dad. And just to have that, they're going to figure it out.
Yes. Yeah, but we got to let them. See,
We
that's the
do.
thing. When I was going through my personal growth for myself, this is before I became a coach, I was called out because, or actually, I called out myself, but I also was called out because I want to help people and I want to help my children. I didn't want them to suffer. I'm a great problem solver. So I could figure out problems way before they knew they were going to happen, and I would help them resolve the problems because you don't want your kids to have problems, right? Well, what I learned, like if you try to give them money or if they overspent or if they didn't, whatever it was, when you try to help them out, you're basically saying, I got this. I know better than you. It is not our intention, but
Mm-mm,
that's the message that is sent. And I remember learning that all they need to hear is, I believe in you. You
mhm,
got this. Just like you said, that was
mhm,
a huge lesson, so much so that, when I was going through the transformation back in 2011, 2012, I went back to all my kids, every single one of them. And I apologized for my lack of awareness that I believed in them and that in trying to solve their problems, I made them think that they couldn't solve their own problems. Not intentionally. I did the best I could with what I have, but once I knew better, I had to go back and say, I am so sorry. I am so proud of you. I believe in you. You could do all things. And I mean I just don't do that again. And so that's so disempowering, but we want to help, but we're just disempowering them at the same time.
Yes, so it's so beautiful that, and even the other example of you apologizing, because so many times, like parents don't apologize and they don't show that, like, none of us are perfect. We don't have it all
Yeah.
together. We're not given a book. We all make mistakes. And
Yeah.
so, my oldest son would every time I would go on a workshop and I'd learn something and I'd call and I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh my God, the police are, he's like, oh, mom, were you on another workshop? Like, yeah, yeah, I forgive
Yeah.
you, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but to see the kids, actually resolving their issues and taking a step back and trusting, and obviously none of us want to see pain, but it's part of transformation. And
Yeah.
so we all have our own journey. So I just wanted to say that before we
Yeah.
go
Well,
on.
I also want to, my personal thing is like the only time I ever had gone to my parents to ask for money was during my divorce when, I mean, I had just gone back to work and I needed about $500 to bridge the gap between, when I got paid and when the bills were due and all of that. And my parents didn't have the money because they had given it to another sibling of ours. And I had never asked them for money and they did not help me. And I remember my sister Asia, she said to me, but how lucky are you that you've never had to ask for help? Look at how much how independent you are. She said, I will help you. I will help you because she knew this was not, this was a loan from here to here. And so she
Yeah,
goes, I will help you. I will let you. And it was like, God always provides. Even
yeah.
though my parents weren't there for me, I could have been resentful because they used that money for another child that was constantly asking for money and things, and they kept coddling them. And there it was. They didn't have to do that with me. They believed in me enough to know you'll figure it out.
You're gonna figure it out.
You'll figure it out. And I did. It was the only time. But again, that resentment could have stayed within me. Like, oh, why didn't I get money from my parents when other people get money from my parents? But I didn't go there because my sister was there not only to help me, but to also calm me down and say, how wonderful that you don't need their help. This was the only
So
exception.
cool.
So, parents out there, do not solve your children because that creates stress for later on when they can't figure out how to manage their life, right?
For sure.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to go back for before we leave the breath, because I'm going to go, we're going to go back, and this is going to be the fastest hour I know, Dr. Michelle. Okay, let's. You mentioned the breath, and I always take the time to show what the breath is and what it looks like, or maybe even, stand up and show it to you. But what I want to visualize here is like an accordion. Like an
Mhm.
accordion, when you bring that air into the accordion expands. What you will feel is your gut. So I'm gonna stand up a little bit here. When your gut, when you push your hand out and you have that belly breath,
The
that baby
baby
breath
belly
that you
breath.
see
Yeah.
from, yes, that you see
Yeah,
from,
so when you imagine when you see a baby in the crib and then their little belly is going expanding, they're in parasympathetic mode.
yeah,
And so everybody's seen a baby. And so it's a perfect imagery
yeah,
of getting yourself into that space of letting your belly
go
muscles let
out.
them expand.
And we as women do not want our belly to expand. We do not
Oh,
want that. So
no.
this is the time. And so what I do is when I coach somebody, when I do a retreat or a workshop or whatever, I ask them that evening to lay on their bed with their hand underneath their rib cage, right about their belly button area. And when they're breathing through their nose or their mouth, to make sure that that expansion happens, so that they know that that is true breathing. That is real breathing. So doing that in the morning or doing that anytime that there's an issue, brilliant. I'm glad you started with that, Dr. Michelle. I knew we'd get some great tips. If we were to stop now, that would be the most important thing.
Perfect,
Okay.
right? Is very true. But and so when we use breath and like anything can be used to de-stress. I love music. So
Mhm.
putting on music and fun, joyful music, even Bob Marley, Three Little Birds, like don't
Oh,
worry, everything's gonna be just fine. And like those kinds of things. I love Michael Frente has like these it's a great day to have a great day. It's a
yeah,
good day for a good day and
yeah.
there'll be brighter days and so I love dancing. Like dancing is so like shaking like in the mind body skills that I teach, one of the things like just to de-stress is literally like we tell people shake it off, shake it off. Well, in all the indigenous cultures of the world, they shake, they dance.
And bears and polar bears,
Everybody, if there's any kind of trauma, you see the animal shaking it off, dogs shake it out, they get it all like, and so shaking followed by, and just like several, and then we literally can shake, like hanging our head, hanging our jaw open, shaking everything, just staying in one place and shaking. That de-stresses. And then you can put some music on and let your body move to the music. Kids, oh my gosh, put it on and let the kids start to dance and follow what they do. Because when we let go, we allow for those kinds of things and to be more like childlike. That is totally a way to de-stress.
Well, dance is a huge, music is a huge part of our family, and we always everything breaks into a dance. Like there's always a dance party at the McDermott's because that is
Nice.
and music, and I always use music for shifting too. There's like maybe you're having a bad day and you play those songs, and all of a sudden you start dancing, and you can't have a bad thought when
Mm-mm.
you are out of your head dancing like nobody's watching, which is one of the little signs on there. There's a sign on my wall that says dance like no one's watching or filming or posting.
Oh, nice.
Truly believe that. I
True.
truly
And don't
believe
care,
that.
like it doesn't matter what people think or say about you, so
No,
just get
none
over
of
it.
my business. None of my business what they think or say about me. Okay. Perfect. I love that. Okay. So, what else do you got?
Um, so like I is so amazing. Last June, I started a practice of Zen Doodle. And
What?
it's called Zen Doodle. And you sit, and like I've always been kind of a doodler. And so I would take, and just like doodle. Like I learned that way even when I'm taking notes and these kinds of things, and I doodle. Well, then I I needed to really get into my creativity because creativity, no matter what it is a way to de-stress.
Mhm.
And so I was like, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an artist like my grandma. My grandma painted and so I was like, I used to enjoy, drawing and painting by numbers. And I was like,
Yeah.
let me get back into that place. And so I bought a sketchbook and I bought some markers and I started doodling. And 4 sketchbooks later, I'm
Are you
still
selling these
doodling.
doodles?
So, what I did, it's actually super fun because my kids moved, and what I'll do is there's Zen Doodle. So you can be there, you take your pen, you can just start doodling and then you can color it. You can get into a place of gratitude. You can get into a place of just like I'm just here in this present moment. It's mindfulness. Like you're just here. You're not worried about that or anything. Just here and just breathing and see what happens. And so I've kind of like I love drawing flowers and I've done like different things. And I'm not super big into desert scenes, but something last month attracted me to this like beautiful desert scene. And so it's super cool because my kids the next week tell me that they're moving to the desert. And I'm
No
like,
way.
what?
Oh, Michelle LaMasa-Dawson connected the dots.
How crazy. So I drew this picture and then I saw another one. I drew this picture and then as a little housewarming present, I'm going to see them over the weekend. And I made them, I did this drawing. I sent it to Shutterfly and I had them made into a ceramic tile to be a hot plate and they actually came with little easels. And so it's mom's gift, to them as a little piece of like my creativity to give.
Aw, I want to
Yeah.
see that. I want to
Yes,
see that.
I'll send you pictures because it was,
Yeah, what a
and
sweet thing.
and it just like it beats my heart in a way. It literally lets me de-stress from the day and the colors. My husband teases me because I have to have like lots of colors. He's like, it's okay to leave part of the page white. I'm like, no.
Oh, no, it's not.
I'm like, no, I'm like, what? So I really like any form of creativity that way. So getting in touch, and I've heard several people recently that have said that when they were little, probably around eighth grade. And it was that way for me too. I knew what I wanted to do, but my mom said something that made me kind of look for the next 20 years
Mm.
for something else. And
What?
yet that happens so frequently. Oh, if you're going to college, I'll pay for this, but you're not doing that. You got to do this. All about making money. Literally, like within the last month, it's been like three people that told me about how when they were in eighth grade, they wanted to be like two people are like, I wanted to be a cook. I wanted to be a chef. But my mom's like, no way. You have to go to college. You have to do everything, all that. And it's all about money. And now they're coming back. One guy bought a truck, to do a food truck. And he
Nice.
started actually playing the guitar, super great, and he sings and he's accessing because those things bring joy to us.
Yes. Yes.
Those things directly de-stress us.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so
That's
gardening,
beautiful. I
getting your
used to,
hands
I
in the
used
soil, oh, it's amazing.
I used to doodle a lot when I was younger. And I would start with an L and I just kept going on the L and then I would go and I would just do all these twists and turns. But I stopped doing that after a while. I don't do it anymore, but I think I'm going to start doing that. Another thing after we just finished talking about dancing and shaking it off, and it's like, are there appropriate times to do that? I'm not like you get into a car accident and all of a sudden you come out dancing and I was like, I just got in an accident. Don't
Well,
not
shake
may
it
not
off.
be the right time. Shake it off. Shake it off. May not be the right time.
Somehow, I don't think, when you're in a car accident, the best thing you could do, like to kind of bring down
Yeah.
that, is you take your first finger and your thumb and you wrap your hand around it.
Is it your
And
left hand or your right hand?
you're taking your left hand, first finger to your thumb.
Hmm.
You're holding with your right hand and you're sitting with that in your lap. And that is a way to calm your heart, calm your body, de-stress, come back to peace.
And if you doubt what hand it is, remember the left is for letting go. And then you can just wrap your hand around. That was a technique that we learned from Dr. Lee Cowden.
Yes, ma'am.
He's an amazing man. He's coming back on the show pretty
Oh,
soon.
yay.
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
I gotta get an update because
It's
last time
like
I
a
spoke to
dad,
him,
you
he
know.
was changing lives that had people that had ALS. So I want to get an update to see how he's doing. But anyway, yes. So that's really good. I thank you for reminding us of that technique. And it's amazing that every single technique that you've spoken about requires that belly breath.
Hmm.
Because you
Hmm.
can't do this and just go, hey, let me talk to you about you've got to really focus and relax. So hopefully nobody will ever get in a car accident or need to shake it off in front of other people. But if you need to, at least you have that tool. Okay. So what else do you have?
But like that calms anxiety. It helps to just breathe and come back to center. It's called the King method. And so there's many different techniques that you can do with the King method that are, I when I went to grad school, that it's mind body medicine. And so there was imagery for health and wellness. And that's like imagery is so powerful. So we envision going to the market and what we're going to, see at the market. Imagery is like a great way to transform all the, like those perceptions to see what we want. When you can imagine it, it can become the reality. So to transform. So in that. And then there was mindfulness and there's meditation. And then there was like, you could either do biofeedback or you could do hypnosis, which is more just a deeper imagery kind of thing. And I chose everything that could be in my pocket. I wanted to be able to be on the plane and be able to say, oh, you need this, or you need some help, or somebody over here that they could do a technique. So just getting into that soft belly breathing, that diaphragmatic breathing, getting into that place of the King method, just using that, doing different forms of breathing, moving our body, shaking and dancing and drawing and getting into creativity, you know, even eating mindfully can be a practice in de-stressing. Enjoying every, my I had a girlfriend that would say, breathe in between bites. And you can use your eating as a practice in mindfulness or walking from your car to the office, feeling your heel to the toe, just breathing, just honoring, creating a space so that the day can be quite lovely. So all of those things are just, and movement, like all forms of movement and that like we have to move. Our body needs to move. And so the more we sit, the more that we need to do all kinds of movement practices.
Yeah, yeah. I read an article one time that stated that when you sit for 8 hours a day, people sit on their desk, whatever, at work or whatever, it's the equivalent of smoking one pack of cigarettes a day.
It's crazy.
I know, I know. But movement is key, and I love that relaxation that what I heard you say when you were like, like breathing and it's more like grounding, being in the now, being aware and being present. I know that I walked on the beach, which we do, and I remember doing a show on smiling. He was a dentist that wrote a book on smile. And he said that, you should go and walk with a smile on your face. Just go out there. And I remember doing that for the first time, walking at the beach, barefoot, grounded, going in. And at first, you're like walking with a smile on your face and you think, man, I look a little creepy, but I didn't care. I just got out of my head and I just smiled the whole entire way. And it was interesting what I learned about myself is that I couldn't have a bad thought. I was like so present in the moment and that it was contagious. People would smile back at me.
Mhm.
And so smile is also a simple way of kind of getting out of that and just
It,
it boosts your immune system. It just does
it,
so much.
it's so amazing that smile. There's a little Chinese guy who teaches Qigong, and I love him. His name is Mantak Chia. And he does the healing sounds of qigong.
Mm.
And that's the first time that I had heard about like some like smiling was, and he would say, smile to your inner organs. And so, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my heart would be so happy. And so I use that when I'm guiding my students. And then I was like, okay, and give yourself a really big smile and then bring yourself back into this space, into this awareness, because really, like it actually starts a whole process of chemicals in our body
Yes.
that when we smile, when laughter, and just like, huh, huh. And then before you know it, like everybody's laughing and, putting on, last night I was watching, I like to watch animal reels and I like to watch little kids and just so fun because it delights your heart and you just see these beautiful things. And so it was like baby's belly laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, and you see their little bellies just and for silly reasons.
Yeah, it's
But
so
it's
calming,
that
so
it's
good.
becoming a child again.
Yeah. That smile and that laughter has caused spontaneous remission, where people have improved their health. They've done nothing other than smile. It's amazing how the mindset can cause us to be miserable. It's our ego that is always causing us to, and I always say that if you find yourself sad or miserable or anything, and I know there's a place for everything. I was sad when my dad passed away. I was sad, but there's a joy that comes with knowing that he's in a better place, that he's no longer in any pain, that he's expansive. So we get to balance the sadness with the joy. And when you have a smile on your face, man, it happens right away. And it can completely change, like you said, all those chemicals that get released that are wonderful chemicals, not the chemicals that you eat in your processed foods.
Right, exactly. The
Does
wonderful. chemicals of our feel-good body.
Yeah, I just did a whole class for the small group that I coach. I did a whole thing. I said, this is going to be different. So we started doing some smiling and I talked about the benefits. And so their homework assignment was to every day do some smiling and journal about it and have a gratitude journal. It's so important. Those are little tools that we don't even think to use, and they're free.
That is so beautiful. There's a practice that I heard not too long ago about taking a selfie for 30 days. And you cannot delete the selfie, and it's just one. And to look and see, and if judgment comes up, then your job is to change it and to say, what do I actually appreciate about this picture and about myself? And so to kind of focus on that. But 30 days, I'm like, I'm good.
Well, we're gonna have to accept that challenge. Okay. Let's do the challenge. We'll share it with each other. Okay, what else do you have,
Absolutely.
my friend?
Well, my favorite thing right now is the human garage. And I've just turned in my exam, so I'm not officially certified,
Oh,
but
you are. You
I'm
are.
but I have learned so much in the last 5 months of really, doing the certification. I kind of realized that a certificate, not that I needed another certification, but the certification makes me more disciplined about doing what I need to want to do. And I really, my desire of my heart is to always have another tool that might be effective for someone else that has others haven't really been effective, or there's another layer. And so
Hmm.
what I loved about Human Garage was that these fascial maneuvers, you twist your body, you turn your body in ways, and then to understand that really the connective tissue of our body is everything. It really is what communicates with, it's our biofield, and as it comes inward, it gets more and more dense. It is all encompassing of our every single, it's in between our skin and our muscles, our ligaments, our tendons, our bones. It encompasses the nervous system, the cardiovascular system, the lymphatic system, all of our organs, and it's constantly communicating. And it looks kind of like a spider web through our body, but little like hydraulic tubes, and it has the liquids in it. And imagining our body like a balloon, because we know we have air in our body. And then when the pressure is not um, with the body not being mechanical, actually being a pressurized system, we have 14 pounds of pressure per square inch of our body, which is about 2,000 pounds of pressure coming at us. We don't feel it because that's what we experience every day. It's kind of like gravity, or, some of these other principles that we know. But think about the scuba diver who dives in and the pressure, or when we go up in the air. So when we don't have, like when we eat something and our body is like, I don't like that. And it creates more pressure. Or if we have pressure in our head, then we'll have a headache, or if we have dis-ease or anything. So understanding our body as a pressurized system, kind of like a balloon. So when there's no air in there, then there's no air. But once you start to blow it up, you can move that air in different ways. Well, our body is like that. And so when we move the air in our body, it opens up the fascia. It allows our body to flow better and to communicate what needs to be communicated. So sitting, like you said, most of us sit way too much. And so to just squat instead of sitting, if you're able to do that, it starts to open up the diaphragm. It's more natural. And so it allows for more flow. And so I really love these maneuvers. And it's kind of a different thing because I always had learned about breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, that you don't really breathe in through the mouth. But in these techniques, you do. Because what you do is you're literally activating the sympathetic nervous system in order to move that around, and then it brings you to a calm place in your body. And so there's many maneuvers. So there's maneuvers pretty much for everything. If you have a headache, if you have, lower back pain, you can do an organ reset, you can do lower body reset, you can do upper body reset if you have
I
shoulders.
Yeah, I would love for you to show it, but before you do that, I want to switch gears and talk about the website and the upcoming I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit. So maybe think about a pose that would be easy for us to do while we're watching you. And for those of you who are listening on podcast, you can, go on to YouTube or BitChute or Instagram or Facebook and look at how what this is all about. But she had me do Dr. Michelle had me do some poses one time that we were together, and it was very, very interesting, very fascinating. It's like you're like all it's
Like
you
a
get you
pretzel.
have to get out of your head. You gotta yeah, like a pretzel. Yeah, you gotta get out of your head for this one. So I want to encourage you to go to whenyounneedafriend.com. While you're there, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for my website. Thank you for subscribing to the website. Also subscribe to my social media, BitChute, podcast or podcast, all those things. Just please subscribe, share this video with your friends. Make sure that everybody knows how simple it is to shift. To shift. That moment that you shift, you say, I am going towards health versus embracing disease. So I want to encourage you to continue to grow with me and encourage your friends to also grow together, because friends that grow together stay together and we help each other out. And so go to whenyounneedafriend.com and do that. Also, you can support my sponsors the way they're supporting Classroom, and go to my Shop Now bag, and you have Lilly approved products from head to toe, from makeup to pain management. We have my wonderful, I love my watch, my Wave watch, that if you click on my link, you can get $100 off of the Wave watch. This is a frequency watch. It's a frequency watch, so it's constantly giving me frequency. Right now, let's see what frequency it's giving me. I have to check and see, but I think it's mental clarity. Yeah, that's the one I have right now. So check it out and go to my Shop Now bag and get that, like it's like music to your soul. It's speaking to the cells of your body so that you can help your body blossom. So that's one of my favorite things right now. Also, I want to encourage you to go to the website at whenyounneedafriend.com and click on the pop-up, because the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit is right around the corner. And what are we focusing on? Cancer and autoimmune disease. Let me tell you, if you have this, you need to listen to this class over and over again. Listen to what Dr. Michelle is talking about, because part of those dis-ease is being in resistance to what is in your life instead of embracing it. And so some of these tools that we're talking about today that Dr. Michelle is educating us on are great for every day, so that you can start the process before you even get to the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit for cancer and autoimmune disease. You can start your journey now. And so go to the website, get your tickets, and get your front row seat. Either we have VIP, we're also going to be, we have regular admission, we have VIP, and where there's going to be an opportunity for you to receive some of these treatments that are life-changing and healing. So please consider doing that. Last but not least, you can become an enrolled student in a classroom, whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month, a one-time donation, anything that you can provide to help grow the classroom, whether it's your time, your talent, your treasure. Like I said, sharing this video, this class, this whatever it is, sharing it with your friends will help the classroom grow. So do everything you can, and I so appreciate it. So Dr. Michelle LaMasa-Dawson is in the classroom today, and she could be anywhere she wants to be, but we're going to be talking now about this human garage. So what is that? And you mentioned about the movement and what it does, but what does it help you kind of like release your fascia, what is a quick one that we can do for our face, for example?
Oh, for our face. Well, I can teach you a couple for the face, but
No, do
one
the one that you were going to think about. I just thought it would be.
event. Well, it's no, it's good. I think both will be good and easy. It won't be hard. But I also use essential oils. You can change the mood within 30 seconds by just smelling something that's pleasant. And so that can also be a way to activate, dopamine and get that going. So what I was going to teach is the vagus nerve reset. Okay. And so what you would do is you would stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Okay. And then bending your legs. Okay. Bending your knees. Do it with me. Lily, do you want to do it with me?
Oh, yes, but
Yes.
I'm focused on you, but I will
Yes.
do it. Nobody will be able to see me, but I'll do it with you. Okay.
Okay, perfect. That's good. Okay, so feet shoulder width apart. You're going to pull in your belly button. So we're not going to let it hang out, okay, in this way. And pull it into our belly button and our pelvis into our belly button and our back into our belly button, okay? And you're going to hold that in place. Then you're going to take your right hand to your trap in between that little area of your bone and the muscle. And you're going to take your hand and you're going to press down and out. And you're going to lock that into place because when pin and lock it, then that adds the pressure and it can help us to move the tension, the pressure through the body. Then you're going to take your left hand to your left side of your chin, and you're going to move your head up to the ceiling and stretch those areas and breathe in and out through your mouth 6 times. Breathe. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay.
Nice.
And then the fascia likes it slow. We're activating our parasympathetic, not our skeletal muscles and all of that. We're actually activating our fascia. And so we do things slow. That's why we breathe, we open things up, and then it just takes a few minutes to kind of integrate that by moving, walking. We can walk too and do that. So now we're going to take our left hand to our right, that same area, right? And so that trap area in between the collarbone and the muscle, push down and out. Okay. Bending your legs, holding in your pelvis, taking your right hand to your chin, looking up to the ceiling, to the side, and breathing in through your mouth, out through your mouth 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And letting go and walking that out. I I feel like more open. My head feels a little bit more open as well. You can take a deeper breath. That's the vagus nerve reset. And a vagus nerve is the nerve that runs from the base of our brain all the
I
way
love that. That was
in.
good.
Awesome. And all the way through every major organ. And so when you activate the vagus nerve, when you reset it, you actually activate that parasympathetic mode. And so
No,
that
that was great. I'm looking forward to taking more classes from you. Are you going to be offering this online? Are you going to be doing like a little clinic at your home? What are you going to do?
I'm actually, well, I think a little bit of both. So I'll
Join a gym and you can do these
and to do the
classes.
facial maneuvers like
Yes.
that. Really, I think that is actually where I'm being led to do some more in-person kinds of things. I'm going to do like at least a one day, coming probably next year sometime, but movement and meditation,
I want to do that
mindfulness.
with you. I want to do that with you.
Fun.
Let's
So
create
fun.
something here in Florida.
Well, it's so funny that you said that because that's what I was actually thinking and had talked to another friend about that too. So movement, mindfulness, and meditation, where we might do a little Zen doodle, some meditation, some movement of the fascia. And it's so beautiful because really as you move your body, more emotions can come out that you weren't even aware that were there. And so you're just really processing those and allowing your body to have more flow. So I feel better too. I'm so glad we did that together. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, it's amazing. So, do you have anything like sometimes I'm working and I'm like focused and I find myself like
Yeah,
biting and yeah, do you have anything like
I
for this?
do. I have a
Is it
couple.
quick? Is it quick?
Yeah, it is actually. Okay,
Okay.
so you I like three fingers, okay, but you can do two fingers or three fingers, and you're gonna take on your right hand and you're gonna point backwards on the cheek, where that meeting, the
Well,
muscle.
move your head so that we can see what you're
So
doing.
like in between your cheek and your jawline, right there,
Oh
the
yeah, that meaty
line.
part.
Okay.
Yeah.
A medium part. Okay. And so that's going to be facing backwards. Then you're going to take your three and face forward. Okay. You can do two or three. If you feel comfortable with two, that's fine. And then you're going to twist it and press in and breathe and move.
Always through the mouth, in through the mouth, out through the mouth.
Yes.
Oh, this is fun.
And now up and down and open your mouth three times.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then even squat.
oh, I want to go like this, like I'm a little fish.
Yes, so you squeeze that and then afterwards. And even that, like I feel more open in my
Yeah, I
brain.
like that. I want to do that a
Yeah.
little more. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
twist.
And
Okay.
you squeeze and twist.
Like a jar
Yeah,
where you
that's
get
it.
that popping sound that
Yeah, because
releases the pressure.
so that's exactly right. So even in your body, when you have the little popping, it's actually micro adhesions of the fascia, and you're opening that up to allow the fascial system. And we hear the fascial blaster. What you wouldn't do to your brain, you should not do to your body. So fascia needs to be treated delicately and lovingly. You're moving the pressure, time under pressure. So breathing, twisting, locking it into place, it allows for so much to
This
take
is
place.
so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk some more about creating a class together, and having people come and we can spend time together meditating and doing all the things that you do so well. Recall healing courses. And by the way, you can go to Soul Tree Medita Transformations. You've got me all discombobulated here.
You're just in
Soul Tree,
parasympathetic.
I am like in a parachute right now. I'm a parasympathetic mode. So it's soultreetransformations.com. And if you are a subscriber, which I know you are, you can just click on Dr. Michelle LaMasa-Dawson's name and it'll take you there. Okay, so we only have like 2 minutes left, Dr. Michelle. What is your advice for someone saying, yeah, your life is perfect. You can do this. How do I get out of this mode of the world owes me and get out of that into this um, opportunity to bring and attract abundance to our life?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to get into the gratitude attitude
Yeah.
because, like what you said about smiling, it goes along with gratitude. And like this book that I have gotten to be a part of
Yes,
is
let's talk about your book. Let's talk about your
this
book.
this book, and we were going to give away one, so
Yes.
you can let me know who I
Okay.
can send this book to.
Okay.
But I got to write a chapter, and this book it's like a raw, like what I experienced in my transformative practice. The Together We Rise, the Wounded Healers in Enlightened Journey to Collective Ascension. It's definitely a mouthful, but it's about the fact that all of us go through a lot in our life. It's all different. Like you said, we all have our own journey. And to keep at it, it's never all good and it's never all bad.
Never.
combination of all of that. And when we can actually change the perspective, it's never too late to have a happy childhood.
Mhm.
It's never too late to understand and to appreciate our parents, and they gave us life. That's really all that matters. And so now it's up to us. What are we going to do with that? And so gratitude. Nobody owes us anything. We've been given life. That's all that was owed to us. And now we do what we need to do to transform that.
I love it. And you wrote a chapter of the book. And for those of you who would like to win a copy, get into the winner's basket, text me or email me 407-373-5959 or Lily at whenyouneedafriend.com. If you are in the United States, don't worry about the cost for the shipping. But if you are listening from a place outside of the United States and you want to get your name in the winner's basket and win a chance to the book, then you pay for the shipping. Okay, so that's the deal. That's the dealio. And so thank you so much, Dr. Michelle, for everything that you do, for being a part of that book of how many 19 other practitioners that share their journey. And I do want to have you come back just to talk about your story. I was very impressed. I learned some things about you that I really do want to dive into because there's a lot of people that might be dealing with everything that you've dealt with, but perhaps instead of being grateful, they feel shame. And I want to bring that out. If when you're ready, if I
Ah,
want you to
I
come
would
back
love
so we
that.
can discuss
Yeah.
it. Yes, because I
Thank you.
was I was
Honor.
like, what? Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. And so I read every single word and I was just so touched that you are my friend. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you, Lily. I thank you for what you do, and I'm deeply grateful for all of the times that we get to share together, and then I get to say these great tools. I just love it so
I
much.
know this is great, and it's all free. It's free 99, free 99.
It's
Okay,
it.
so what
So
are you
great.
waiting for? It's time to start your journey of healing, your journey to peace, and embrace that instead of focusing on what's going wrong. Focus on how you can be grateful for what is. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lily McDermott and Dr. Michelle LaMasa-Dawson wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever! Oh my God, that's the best ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.